Welcome back to my channel. Today is December 15, which if you didn't know, it is the day of my birth. The day I came into this world. The day that my mother became a mother. And aren't you glad that happened? Because if not, I would not be here. Yes, thank you. I don't know why. Just the fact that I'm turning 24 is giving me like such bad anxiety. I have no idea why. And this morning my friend, oh my god, she's so cute. I love her. She posted like this whole little appreciation post like on her story for me, and I don't know why me ataqué bien feo. I was like, de por sí, like turning 24, like I don't know, I'm like over here like rethinking my whole life. I am feeling very anxious, right? So of course it only makes sense that I get ready in my Britney Spears shirt. I feel like Britney Spears back in like 2008. I'm like on that vibe. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready, and you guys are gonna get ready with me while I tell you what I've learned in my short but long life. I'm officially 24 as of 5:15 this morning. So goodbye 23. See ya. Been there, done that. See ya never. Literally see you never, because I'll never be 23 again. And that means, I think that's what makes me sad. The fact that I'll never be this young again. I don't know, I'm going through something. I think at my short 23 years of life, I think I have a lot of like knowledge. Like I'm so smart, you know? I wrote down the 23 things that I learned in my 23 years on my phone. I was inspired the other day. I was like, ooh, let me write it down, share my wisdom, my knowledge with you guys. The first thing that I learned, the most important thing, is you can't stress what you can't control. I used to go ahead and try to overanalyze everything and just try to kind of fix everything. But I came to the conclusion, if I can't control what is happening in that one moment, then why am I stressing about it? It's not benefiting me at all to stress over it if I know there's literally nothing I can do about it. That's the one thing that literally when I'm in the moment of stressing over something, I'm like, okay, can I control this? Can I physically go do this? Can I do anything to change that certain situation? And if the answer is no, then I'm like, okay, I'm not worrying about it. Number 2, and I learned this year, life is so temporary. You're literally here one moment and you just don't know if you'll make it. And I learned that firsthand this year with my grandpa. My grandpa was the first like death that affected me personally, because growing up when you're younger, well, you don't know. You don't know what's happening, you don't understand. That was the first death I understood. I lived the grief, make the most out of life, and take advantage of every moment. Just keep pushing through, girl, because you never know when it's the last day. Literally. That was a little deep, I'm sorry, but that's a very important thing that I learned. That life is so temporary and so fragile. Like so fragile. Number 3. Everything happens for a reason. You may not understand it in the moment and you're like, why is this happening to me? But when you look back on the certain situation, you understand why certain things had to happen, even if you didn't get them at the moment. Then you're like, oh, okay, now I get why that happened. So even if you don't understand why it's happening to you in that one moment, you'll get it later on in life. Like you'll understand when you look back and you went through what you went through, then you're like, okay, I totally get it. Like I had to go through this in order for this to happen, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Number 4. This one I learned through my boss. Like she put it in perspective for me that when you're stressing over things, like regardless, the work has to get done. Everything needs to get done. So the time that you're using to stress over the 10,000 items that you need to get done in a day, honestly, like don't stress it. Like make your to-do list, cross off one thing at a time, because at the end of the day everything has to get done, and you stressing is not on your list. Like that's not on the list that needs to get done, so why are you doing it? I just realized, well, I've known this, but like I realized that I can't multitask, so I can't really talk and do my makeup. And then I also like to talk a lot with my hands. I don't know if you can tell. I talk a lot with my hands. So I don't know how good this is gonna be. I don't know. I don't think I thought this through very well, but who cares, we already started. This is why I can never be an MUA, because how do you guys talk and do your makeup at the same time? I either talk or do my makeup. I can't do both. And while I have your attention, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is free. Go ahead and subscribe. It'll really help out my channel. Going on to number 5. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. I am one of those persons that I refuse to get out of my comfort zone for the longest time. Like, I am a very anxious person, and if you guys have like a lot of like anxiety, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, don't want to do certain stuff, say certain stuff, like whatever, just because inside of you you're like overthinking every single possible thing. But when the moment that you get comfortable, you kind of get stuck and you're not growing. You're not taking advantage of opportunities that could be possibly presented to you if you just get out of your comfort zone. So one of the things that I'm doing this year in 24 is actually taking seriously my YouTube, because like I would post the videos or just record just for memories or whatever, but I do want this to be more than just like a once in a while thing. I want to be more consistent. I get in my head a lot, and I'm like, okay, no, but just because I know this is new to me, and sometimes I can get uncomfortable. Like, I don't like to record. I get nervous recording in front of people. I'm like, can you guys turn away or like go somewhere else? Like, I just get a lot of anxiety. My goal is to be comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. Number 6, just let them. If you have any situation, you're not here, unless you actually have kids, you're not nobody's mother. So if someone's not doing the right thing, just let them. Their true colors will show out. You can't be on top of somebody trying to make them a certain way to say something about. Just let them. Just let them and see how things play out. Number 7. This goes back to kind of like number 2. Live in the moment. I remember my sweet 16 / quinceañera, because I was like 16 at that point, you know. My dad made like a speech, and I remember clearly his words like vive el momento, which is live in the moment, being present, making sure like you're there when you're there, if you know what I'm saying, and just take advantage of every moment, because you really don't know. Like, don't worry about the future too much, because you're gonna get there, hopefully, si Dios quiere, and don't worry about the past, because it already happened. Live in the moment, be present, and then like that you take most advantage of the time you have with the people you love and all that stuff. Number 8, and this one I have to constantly remind myself, because if you guys know me personally, you know que ando metiendo la pata por todos lados, and I don't really think before I speak. But number 8 is think before you speak. I'm like a no filter kind of person, and it's really bad because I've gotten into certain circumstances that I probably shouldn't have if I just thought what I said without saying it. Like, there's certain things that sometimes maybe doesn't need an answer or doesn't need your opinion in that one moment, but se me sale, and I know that's such a bad trait, and I'm working on it, but it happens. So always think before you speak, and like think about how like what you're saying can affect the other person. It's not really like but what you said, because it could be that everybody in the room agrees, but it's also about how you word it. But that's one thing I really need to work on, and I know it, and I've learned it from bad experiences, that you always need to think before you speak. Number 9, dude, I hope you know that I've only just primed my face and my foundation. I haven't done it, and we're almost like halfway through the list, almost. Number 9, you can't judge something unless you have personally experienced it, because it's so easy to say I would never, like, I don't know how you let that happen. Like, it's so easy for you to say I would never let that happen to me. I would never, you would never, until you're in that circumstance, and then you're like, okay, what do I do? Opinion, calladitas, be supportive to your friends, but never judge a situation if you've never gone through. That's all that is. Number 10, no response is a response. If you get no response to something you ask for, take it as a no. Just take it as a no. Number 11, and this one is a little hard if you're really impatient I don't know what you guys believe in, to each their own, but just believe that there's a bigger plan going on. If something doesn't happen your way, God had a different plan. Sometimes you don't understand why, but there's better things waiting for you. There's better opportunities could be presented. Just trust that God has a plan. That's number 11. Number 12 is live in gratitude. I feel like the more you give, the more you get. The more grateful you are, the more reasons you'll have to be grateful. If that makes any sense. The more, it's all about perspective, honestly. And lo más que habitas diciendo, like, no tengo esto, no tengo lo otro. The more you say, like, I need, that's not gratefulness. Like, I'm grateful I have working limbs. I'm grateful I have both my parents. I'm grateful I have a sister and a brother. Just living in gratitude just makes your life better. I don't know how to explain it, but just try it. And even if you feel like you have nothing to be grateful for, just waking up, being able to go to work, being able to have a job. Do you know how hard it is to have a job nowadays? Like, girl, be grateful for that. So like sometimes when I have to change my perspective, I'm like, oh, I have to go to work. No, you're lucky to go to work because that job gives you money, and that job can provide financial support to all my trips, and then I can share them with you, and then you can see where I go on vacation. You have to rewire your brain sometimes. There's people in the world that would die to have what you have. Number 13, don't compare yourselves to others. Everyone has their own journey. That one is important because this happened to me a lot when I had just left high school. You see everybody post about their lives and everything like that, and I'm like, okay, what am I doing with mine? What am I doing? Like, what am I behind? And you just feel, but at the end of the day, like, there's people my age, because now I'm 24. I'm like almost an adult, but like adulting and training, right? So I see people that have gotten married. I see people that have kids that are probably on to their second kid, and they're my age, and I'm like, I'm living at home. I'm nowhere near married. I don't plan on having kids maybe within like the next 2 years, 3. So I'm like, am I behind, or are they just accelerated? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're just living life too quickly, and they're not, because that's their life. My life is going in a different route, and that doesn't mean that I'm behind or that I'm anything. It's just my life is different, your life is different, and you just can't compare it to others because you don't know their whole story. You just know what you're seeing. So you're gonna be like, especially I guess it happens more of like now that everything's on the internet, like, how come that person got this, or how did that person do this? But you don't know all the work that they had to put through. You don't know what they had to do to get there, you know? Number 14 is surround yourself with people you want to be. Have you ever heard the saying of your reflection of your 5 closest friends? It's true. And I went to a workshop at work the other day, and they were talking about exactly this. How if you want to be lazy, a bum, hang out with 5 bums and you'll be the 6th. If you want to be successful, entrepreneur, hustler, whatever, hang out with 5 business people hustling, whatever, and you'll be the 6th. It shouldn't be that you are the one. You should always want to elevate your friends, and your friends should always want to elevate you. And it's not a competition. It's not about that. It's just encouraging and motivating each other to keep pushing forward. Like, for instance, if you hang out with negative friends, your perspective and your life, it's gonna be negative. I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna be negative. It's not gonna be so happy. It's not gonna be so cute. It's gonna be negative because you're hanging out with those people. Now, if you hang out with positive people, if you hang out with hardworking people, you're gonna be positive. You're gonna be hardworking, and you're even gonna be motivated from your friends. So reanalyze your friend groups. And I know it sucks to lose friends sometimes, but you have to do what's best for you. Surround yourself by people that you want to be. Number 15, and this one my mom has always told us since we were little, and up until recently I didn't understand what that meant, but I get it, girl. My mom has always said, de tu casa llévate lo bueno. So I'll translate that. It's like, from your house only take the good. So if you see character traits developed in your family, because everybody's family is different, And just because your parents are a certain way does not mean you have to be that way. Just the good character traits, the good behaviors, the good, everything good, and the bad, leave it behind. So like for instance, my dad is the sweetest person in the world when he's in a good mood. But when he's in a bad mood, he's Hulk. Like Hulk. I'm working on not taking that Hulk side of my dad, because sometimes when I get mad, I'm She-Hulk. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm working on being the good from both my parents. Number 16. Sometimes blood is not thicker than water. And what I mean by that is that even if they are your family, it does not mean that they won't do you dirty. And I don't mean this in a sense of like your immediate family. Sometimes it can be your extended family. Sometimes the people you know the most are the ones that hate on you the most. So, and sometimes the people like comadres, compadres, friends, family friends, sometimes those people are the ones that feel like more family than family. And that's very sad, but that's sometimes what happens. And I learned that in life. Number 17, practice makes perfect, like Michael Jordan. I don't really know much about basketball, but I had an algebra teacher in college. He would teach us something, and he would always tell us, if you don't get it, keep practicing. And that's kind of stuck with me. Just the way that he would say it was just like encouraging us in like a way that maybe he thought we knew and understood. But I don't know anything about basketball, but I know he's a basketball player, but I don't know exactly what that means. But it stuck with me that even if you don't get it, if you practice and you practice, like eventually you are. So just also include with that, just don't give up. This one I got from both my parents is cada cabeza es un mundo. That means is that everybody's mind is an own world. Everybody sees life differently. The best way to put it is kind of like everybody thinks differently, everybody sees things differently. Like you're not always going to agree because everybody's living in their own world and in their own kind of timeline. They're all living in their own thing. So just understand that sometimes if someone doesn't understand you, it's because their world is different from yours. That's the best way to put it. My mom always tells me, es mejor que haya un loco y no dos. And what this translates to is it's better that there's only one crazy person and not two. So if there's a problem and someone's going on and on about the problem, don't feed into it. Don't let the craziness be crazier than what it is and make you crazy over something. Number 20. This one's my favorite of the world. If you guys listen to the podcast, you've heard me say this before. I'm responsible for what I say, not for how you take it. I could say the sky is blue, and that's all I said. But if you hate the color blue, I'm telling you the sky is ugly. Because that's how you interpret it based on your own reasonings in your head. Number 21. And this goes to various different things, not just one particular category in life. It's always quality over quantity. As long as you have good quality friends, good quality food, good quality anything in life, you're going to be happy. You're not even going to care. Because, for instance, I have like 3 good friends. Like 3 besties like for my life. And I would not change my 3 besties for 300 other girls. Never. Let's talk about like videos. You guys would probably prefer 3 good quality, very dynamic, very good videos than 300 whatever videos. Number 22. You can't please everyone and people are always gonna talk. If you do something, it's because you did it. And if you didn't do it, it's because you didn't do it. And from a young age, I have always realized that I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do because it's my life. And I'm gonna live my life to how I wanna live it, regardless of who's watching, who's talking, who's saying anything. Number 23, the last but not least, and I still have so much more. And if you wanna hear more of my opinion, go check out my podcast with my bestie Julie, Just an Idiot Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify, or whatever you listen to any podcasts. I give my opinion for free. For free! Go ahead and follow, subscribe, or what you gotta do. But I give my opinion for free and all my life my life's trials and tribulations. I don't really know what that means, but I've heard it somewhere, so I hope it means something good. But all of my opinions over there, so don't forget to go do that. And don't forget to subscribe here too, girl. I don't know what you're waiting for. I see you watching my videos. I see that more than 50% of you guys watching my videos don't not subscribe. Number 23, never forget that you're just as important as everyone around you, that you deserve the same care, love, and dedication as everyone else around you. Because if you're not good, how can you be good for others? If you're not cared for, how can you care for others? And that's, I feel like, the best life lesson I could have learned. Because it's so easy to be there for everybody else. But why aren't you there for yourself? Why don't you do what you do for others for yourself? It's okay to put others first in certain occasions. If there's an emergency, if there's anything, life or death vibes. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're good so you can help everybody else. It's like exactly when you go on an airplane. They give the demonstration and they say, before helping others, put on your own mask. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's a perfect example to also carry on in life. How are you gonna help others put on their oxygen mask if you're running out of air? I've learned so much, and I have so much to learn. 24, I'm gonna make it about me. I know that sounds very selfish and very maybe egotistical, narcissist, whatever you call it, but no, it's not. It's because I want to be the best me there's ever been. And what a best time to start at a new year, a new era, if you want to call it. And I'm just very excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. I still have to go ahead and finish my mascara, but I'll do that off camera because it takes me forever. But thank you so much for getting ready with me. I appreciate every single one of you that subscribes, likes, comments. You have no idea how much that means to me. And thank you for spending my birthday with me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.